Well, what is happening, ladies and gentlemen? And we're going to look at more exciting DLC update news. Now, does this thing look familiar? Because if it does, you are absolutely spot on. Look, they've released the post. They've actually released the DLC onto Steam, but there's no price yet, so I'll add it to my wish list. But it's coming soon, and we don't know when that is. They promised end of summer. Let's just focus on these pictures one by one. They promised the end of summer, which could be, it's broken arrow, it could be the 32nd of August, there's no way of knowing. Lol, if you get the joke. But either way, we keep getting sneak peeks of the units that are going to be in the DLC. Now, a lot of these we already knew about. So this is the TU-95, and this is the TU-142. Essentially, it is the exact same aircraft. I mean, when you play Spot the Difference, unless you're a turbo nerd, plane spotter, whatever, you're not going to be able to tell much of a difference. So yeah, here's the cool guy in the back, and his job is just to sit there and never use this gun, because nobody uses tail gunners anymore in these days. I don't know why it's not automated. Anyway, as you can see, same thing here. There's the guy, the rear gunner. Now this bomb looks a lot like this one, and if you didn't already know, that is the Fab 3000. Now I don't think I'm wrong here. I'm thinking like maybe it's a bigger one, maybe it's the one of the TU-160. So these, yeah, actually I am probably wrong. It's just probably one Fab 9000. And then the other weapons that we can see on this are cruise missiles. So you're going to have a lot more of a carrying capacity on the Bear Bomber, which is obviously what the NATO guys call it. Bear Bomber, nice and scary. I actually think it's super cool playing with the Duel. But anyway, enough about the plane. We know that its characteristics are going to be exactly the same as this bad boy. Pretty straightforward. Very slow, but essentially it's going to be nice and cheap, and you can drop a lot of firepower for a very cheap price if you manage to get it to the battlefield, which is the hardest part about the TU-142. It is a strategic bomb at the end of the day. Cool, so yeah, we get some cruise missiles on this. Now you might be wondering, what are those cruise missiles? Well, why don't we take a look? Is it going to be these ones? Yes, of course it is. So KH-101. You can take 12 on the TU-160 for a lovely price of 600. The TU-142 does have cruise missiles, but these are inferior. They're a lot smaller, a lot less powerful, and just a bit more shit in general. So yeah, with these cruise missiles, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so 8, same number, but of course you can take a bigger version of this bad boy as well. Yeah, it is hard to tell. Again, yeah, I do think it's the 9000, not the 3000. But obviously they look. It's hard to. Yeah, they look the same. Anyway, let's move on. Okay, Yak 130. Nice, pretty nifty looking aircraft, and even just from this picture alone we can divulge some information. There's only one pilot in it, even though there's seats for two. I don't actually know, I don't know the history of this. Please tell me in the comments, is this meant to be a fighter or is it just a trainer aircraft? Because that's what it kind of looks like, just like yeah, that is not meant to be a mainstream frontline fighter. But just like the Baltics have this dirt cheap bad boy, the Albatross, is this going to be the Russian equivalent? I mean, it really does look like it. So let's have a look at the weapons. Now we know what these rockets are. We've already seen them on the Su-33. Where are they? Here they are, already on. So S-25 rockets, actually pretty damn good against tanks. So again, if this is just a cheaper version of the same thing with similar firepower, then I can't really complain. You might have noticed the eagle-eyed of you, the R-73s on the wings there. So yeah, there you go. Similar missile. Oh, sorry, exact same missile right there. That looks like a fuel tank to... Oh, no. I'm not sure. Let me know in the comments below. I'm not perfect. I do my best, but I'm, yeah, not a Russian arms expert. Maybe a Russian linguistics expert, but that's it. Right. This is no surprise to you guys. So the Kamaz with the Panzer on it. This is, you know, legendary. People have been, myself included, gagging for this to come out, because this is, everyone's going to spam these out. I can't wait to play with them. They're going to be great. You can choose the Panzer and you can choose the Tor configuration. Now let's have a look at what we've already got with the Russians when it comes to the Tor. So where is she? There she is. Okay, 150 points for the cheap configuration. That is not the cheap configuration, that is the upgraded one, because you can tell by the shape of the radar. So it costs 200 on this model. Now you've got to bear in mind that that Kamaz is going to be nice and speedy. Not sure if it's going to be as quick as the Hammets, but we'll have to wait and see how the game characterizes it. I assume it's going to be just a little bit slower. But yeah, it's 200 points for just the Tor M2. They say it's the M12U. I'm pretty sure it's the Tor M2. That's the M1, that's the 2. There's a bit of a difference, again, especially when you're looking at how the radar looks, and you can all agree that that's this radar on the weapon system. Anyway, moving on, we've got the Panzer as well. So where is the mighty Panzer? By the way, keep that price in mind, 200 points. Tunguska. Tunguska, upgrade it once more, 250 points for the same weapons arsenal that you get on this bad boy. This is an absolute legend. Now, in terms of armor, this is 14, so it's still one-shotted by a Hellfire. This is most likely, again, this is a bit of speculation, a bit of prediction, but the Ural's probably the best thing we've got to go off. It's the most similar looking vehicle, and 10 HP or 12 HP is probably a safe bet for that truck. So you're talking less armor, but doesn't really matter because they're both one shot by a Hellfire anyway. But you're talking a lot more mobility. In terms of vision, I think that's going to be the exact same. You essentially got more mobility, ever so slightly less armor, and still a very, very sophisticated weapon package. I would not be surprised if the BA devs, in the name of balance, make this 275. I really don't think they're going to stretch it to 300. That'd be a bit insane. But also, it's probably not going to have a smoke, so I guess it balances out. So if it's between 250 or 275, we can predict the price to be, but it's definitely not going to be a penny cheaper. So super excited for this vehicle, and by contrast, yeah, similarly, this is going to be probably around 200, although maybe a bit more because you do get that really good mobility. Now, what is this monstrosity? Right, 30 mil S13s, or are they? Let me just fact check myself again. Always got to fact check yourself before you wreck yourself. Okay, so yeah, they're either going to be S8s, which is these ones. It's actually looking quite likely because they are rather small, or the alternative is that they're S13s coming out of this. Now, I'm not sure. This is a prototype, like a lot of units in the game are. I don't know what that jet engine's doing there, by the way. But essentially, you've got Terminator, another Terminator. It's obviously quite clearly a T-72 chassis. Let's get the Terminator out for comparison. Super duper cool vehicle. Love how it looks. Love how it acts as well. 175, obviously you get 2 grenade launchers, which do make a very nice difference, and a bit of armor. 225 points, which is very reasonable for the Terminator. I think it's perfectly balanced at that price range. Essentially, very, very, very similar in most regards, apart from this can take out tanks. So I wouldn't be surprised if this is an even cheaper version of the Terminator. Yeah, crazy. In terms of armor though, it's probably going to be a bit skinnier, because the armor we're looking at in comparison is going to be probably this one. I mean, when you look at all the squares or the ERA, yeah, it's going to be a bit thinner on the armor, so much cheaper. Good anti-infantry, but much skinnier armor. I think that's going to be pretty fair and balanced, depending on how they price it. I wouldn't be surprised if it's actually more similar to this price tag, which could be crazy, but I also don't see any smoke pods. So, yeah, maybe it doesn't have smoke, which would be a really nice way to balance it out. Right, Spetsnaz Alpha. The Alpha Group. This is Russia's elite counterterrorism unit, if you didn't know already. They are Russia's equivalent of the SAS, or America's Delta Force, in many ways. They are an elite counterterrorism team. These are actually made from titanium. These are obviously, you might have seen this in other games like Tarkov, whatever. These are actually made from titanium to obviously keep the weight down, and obviously bulletproof glass on the face shield right there. Super duper mean looking unit. Now, as we can see here, let's have a look at all their weapons. Now, this machine gun, again, we're very familiar with it already, are we not? Mr. SSO, where are you? Obviously, we're going to look at the standoff edition, because that's where they're going to put it. These are meant to have suppressors on them, the machine guns. Not sure why they don't here, but that is the weapon system that they'll be using, the PKP. Unless I'm crazily mistaken, which again I don't think I am, but I have been wrong before. Now I'm pretty sure it's the same weapon. Looks pretty mean. Now this is a 50 cal. Yeah, it's a 50 cal assault rifle intended for CQB. Can you believe it? Because obviously the whole purpose of this weapon is that it can punch through plate armor at close range, which is insane. Yeah, having a 50 cal to clear rooms sounds like something you do on Call of Duty, not on here. Up here on the Typhoon, by the way, which is that it's a Tempest of Armor 3. If you've played that, that is a 23mm cannon. I'm pretty sure. I actually thought it was a 30 to start with, but upon closer inspection, it appears to be 23mm. So sticking that on top of this mobile vehicle is actually going to be cool, because the BT, by the way, I'll just show you the vehicle that already has it. It is in the coastal. There she is. Why am I being so slow? Here she is. Right, okay. Yeah, a B-23. I mean, it's obviously quite recognizable right there, although, yeah, there we go. That is obviously a bit bugged, but I think that's pretty recognizable. If I'm not mistaken, it does actually look at like the cord as well, so, okay. Why am I making so many errors today? I don't know. But it would be cool to have a 23mm on it, wouldn't you agree? Although, again, this is bugged. Right, what other weapons can we see here that we can talk about? Well, it's hard to see, but this, for any of you sports fans out there, is something that's featured on Forgotten Weapons. Now, let me look up what that is, and I'll get back to you. Stand by. Alright, there you go. It's the ASFL. So, it's right there. It's very, very similar to the VSS. It is a 9mm subsonic suppressed round. That's yeah, there you go. There you can see it be a bit more relevant to the screenshot right there. Essentially, yeah, a subsonic round does high damage but low armor penetration, because it's actually obviously a slow moving big bullet. Let's carry on. I don't see a shotgun, although I thought that these guys might get one, but it's not apparent. And that's it. We're back to the Tu-95. Now, I've already done quite a few videos about knowing that this is the Rosgvardia, Russian Guard, Rosgvardia, same thing. It's their National Guard. Really cool picture with that shield. They're not going to have shields, but they will have 10 armor. And quite high HP if it's a 14-man squad, which is what we think, what is believed to be fitting into the back of one of those Typhoons. As you can see, there's a Gaz Tiger as well. Anyway, I've done other videos about all the other units. There's a lot of them out there, so feel free to check them out. They'll be in the description below, and probably in the suggested videos on your right hand side. Actually, my mistake, the video is not over yet, because I forgot to read into this bit for you. So yeah, there's more, the escalation of the war. So in this chapter of the campaign, the American and Baltic troops are going to push into Russia, therefore the Russian National Guard is called up to help defend. And we've got the two new maps to play on. So Duargava Pills is not the existing Pills map, and Coal Mountain. Now, we saw that in the previous spoilers, where we saw Big Coal Mountain in the middle. I think that's what it's going to be. Two new scenarios. Again, that's going to be part of not the campaign, but scenarios are separate. So, yeah, I'm sure they'll come in good time. So, 8 infantry squads with 20 unique weapon loadouts. I think we've mastered all the 8 infantry squads. 31 new ground and air units. Okay, beautiful. That is actually quite a lot of vehicles that we get in this DLC. I wouldn't be surprised if they charge a pretty penny for it, because I'm sure their coffers, after making millions on their initial sales, might be running a little bit dry. A new hangar theme. Interesting. Is that music theme or visual theme? We'll see. New AI army. Yeah, what, Russian guards? Cool. Right, the Russian spec. We've got some Rosgvardia, so again, the National Guard. Bars, which is, I had to Google this because I had not heard of this before. Combat Reserve in the Russian ministry. I've saw something saying that they're to do with Cossacks as well, like Cossack troops, which is like a whole different kettle of fish. I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole. Reserves, so regular reserves. Spetsnaz Alpha, there we go, we talked about them already. FSB sniper team. So again, FSB is more like the FBI, so but they do warfare as well. Border guards, we've talked about them already. Spetsnaz Vimpel. Now, I am honestly not. Yeah, you guys might be annoyed by this, but I'm not familiar with this at all. So it's basically, instead of Alpha Group, it's, well, Bravo Group here, but it's not Bravo because in Russian that's a V. So Vimpel is a standalone. Okay, it's a subdivision of the FSB, just like their snipers. And I imagine, I mean, can we get some pictures, please? That'd be lovely. Yeah, okay. Are they like Alpha Group but with inferior weapons? Surely not. Yeah, we're gonna have to wait and see because I'm really not sure about this. I wonder if they're gonna be like, you know, the Alpha Group is gonna be the equivalent of Delta Force in terms of room clearance and stuff, and these guys are gonna be more like Marine Raiders with the firmer barracks, etc. I don't really know. I've not actually seen too much information about this, so I'd love to tell you more. But I just can't. But there's the AS file that we've already seen, so yeah. But they look, their uniforms all over the place, very inconsistent, apart from those titanium helmets, which is yeah, pretty. Okay, yeah. If you're into history, look up yeah, the Parliament against Yeltsin. Yeah, 1993. Crazy scenes. Basically, Moscow almost turned into a civil war battleground. Sorry, back to Broken Arrow. Reconnaissance vehicle, armor transport. So the Gaz Tiger is going to be a little reconnaissance vehicle, which is going to be quite nice. Oh, there it is. BMP 97 Vystrel. Vystrel means to shoot in Russian. If you're not familiar with that vehicle, let me show you some piggies, because this is honestly like the Ferrari of armored vehicles. I mean, that looks good. It looks a lot like the Soviet BTRs from, you know, back in the good old World War II. Yeah, I like that. I like that vehicle a lot. It is kind of gorgeous. I'm a big fanboy of this vehicle. Don't know why. I just think it's fit as fuck. If that car was a woman, I'd never cheat on my wife. Because I'm a good boy. Right, fire support. The Malva, bit of arty. Uragan, it's basically like an MLRS. Tochka, TOS 2. So we've already got the TOS 1 in game. Again on a T-72 chassis. This is on a Kamaz, sorry, on a Ural chassis. So yeah, quite a cool vehicle. Panzer, Autor, S400, Tiger, Gipka, and MiG-31, of course. 2 MiG-31s. Okay, we're going to have to Google the difference because I am not sure. Difference. Can we get a picture of them both side by side? Probably not. I imagine that the real difference is just going to be their weapons loadout, because I didn't even know that there was much of a difference between those two variants. Again, please do let me know in the comments below if you are a plane nerd. Respect to you. Cool. K-50, that's the K-52 one-seater. K-60, that's a transport helicopter, a bit like a Dauphin. Mi-8, yeah, lots of those. S-70 Ochotnik. Now this is, yeah, you're not going to enjoy this. Everyone knows the annoying American stealth drone. This is literally the direct opposition to it. This is literally like for like. That is a nice paint scheme. Replacement for the Sentinel. So the Russian answer to the Sentinel, that's going to be annoying. AN-26, I think I know what that is, but I just want to confirm. Yeah, little transport plane. Believe it or not, the Ukrainian armed forces still use this. I think the Russians might do as well, but it is ancient, absolutely ancient. Yeah, ancient bit of kit. Very old and fragile plane, but hey, cheap transport plane, why not? We'll take it. And that is almost it. Oh yeah, sorry, I just googled that. Am I spasticated? Maybe. Artillery positions dominate the battlefield. Jesus Christ, that is not good. Dwarga Pills, we'll be able to see that on the real life position if we have a look. Oh wow. Whoa. That is rather cheeky, rather impressive. Let's see if we can find it on maps. Yes, we can. Okay, there we go. So yeah, just a very, very industrial place. And where's that fort that they... Yeah, that's going to be an interesting part to play for. Now, I did expect there to be not 2 new maps, but actually 3, with Kronstadt and a nuclear power plant being positions. But maybe they're just going to come as part of the major update, not as part of the DLC. Cool. Thank you so much for watching the video. I am actually finished this time. Yeah, there's a discount on the game if you want to buy it, but most of us watching this video have already bought the game. Alright, thanks so much. Take care. Bye-bye.